Alright, we're gonna start this off with this mod playing as, of course, Aragorn. E- Everyone knows Aragorn. Oh, takes a lot longer to load than the base game, that's for sure. Alright. Let's see what we got for lifestyle. Okay, okay. Just go down Galleon, that'll be good. Real good. Alright, so prowess, since Aragorn's a beast. Let's see. I'm gonna go down warfare, since we're gonna need that down the road when we fight Sauron. And let's see what we got for. Ugh, these are not great. Alright, so we got our knight right there. Probably gonna be the best we can get for that. Yep. Oof. Not much for that. We can swap you out. Let's see, where is that at again? Put you in. Ooh, that's bad spy master. Let's see if we can get someone better in here. And what do you have? Oh, you don't have Numenor blood, so take this Gondorian woman. You're not. You're married. You're renewed. All right. So, chieftain of the Dunedain, Aragorn, the 16th chieftain of the Dunedain of Arnor, is an image of the strength and nobility borne by the men of Numenor before its fall. Strong, wise, and regal in bearing, at the tender age of 2, his father Arathorn perished to an orc arrow, and Aragorn was spirited by his mother Gillerin to Imladris. I might go with elf names, where he was raised by Lord Elrond Paradel as his foster son. At the age of 21, Elrond revealed to his foster son the truth of his high heritage, relinquishing to him the ring of Barahir and the shards of Narsil he had his keeping, retaining only the scepter of Annuminus. After this, he fell in love with Arwen, and she him. Beleriand set before Aragorn a task. He could only give his blessing for his daughter to marry Aragorn if he became the High King of Arnor and Gondor, earning the scepter of Annuminus he had withheld. Aragorn set out into the wild, and traveling afar, did many great deeds for the free people. Time shall tell if Aragorn achieves all he has hoped, or if their heir of Isildur is doomed to share the fate of his forefathers. Renewed shall be the blade that was broken. Anyways, back to what we were doing. Can get rid of you, that's for sure. Get out of here. This one better. And how are we on knights? They're okay. Actually, can I get some courtiers that might be able to marry someone? Probably not. Yeah, they're all married. Oh well. Speaking of that, let's see what we can get for. Alright, so we're eventually gonna have heavy infantry, but for overall, I'm gonna go with the army damage. Yep. Whatever the feckless, yeah, so it'll be a while before they get good. How much gonna cost? Yeah, why not? Mentor. Number of knights, nah. Vanguard, we can get that. Hiding holy orders. Reduce, nah, we'll get the Vanguard. Alright. Alright. Let's see. It's going to be probably a whole lot of nothing for a while. So let's try and expand the territory. We can make some land grabs down south right now. Before Sauron the Bald. Wow. That, interesting. Alright, great armaments. While studying the tactics of ancient journals, I continued to be amazed by the exploits of ancient Númenóreans. In the last Second Age, King Ar-Pharazôn built the most impressive fleet ever seen. His goal was to claim the immortality of the Valar themselves on Aman, as he surrounded the island of Tol Eressëa, and their armies landed on the hill of Tuna. The Valar summoned Eru, who plunged the entire fleet into a great breach that broke the very form of Arda. Meanwhile, on land, Ar-Pharazôn and his army were buried in an avalanche of falling rock. So, fodder, military. I'm probably gonna go with that one because that's gonna be helpful. And I can't be a pillager, so we'll go with that. All right, so back to going that. Let's see what we got for building. Well, the only building. Need some more gold before that happens. We got. I can't afford anything. Well, let's just speed it up, I guess, for now. How many troops you got? Actually, pause that real quick while we look. So my archers, when I get those, so I can get both of those. He'll be hard to beat without any good siege weapons, but whatever. Do a little bit of an alternate universe. Aragorn didn't just sit on his ass and do nothing. Let's see what would happen if he got rid of the Dunedain, or not Dunedain, excuse me, the Dune folk, or yeah, Dunedain. I was right. Yeah. Maybe we can stop. Oh, now he has hair. Sauron from getting too powerful. Then I'll relieve the red mark of issues, and they could fully help us once it comes time to find Sauron. Yeah, we could probably speed that up. Actually, while we're at it, let's see if I can get archers. And yeah, I'll put us in debt, but we're not going to attack. Attack immediately anyway, so. A forgotten dream. I had the most amazing dream last night. After I woke up, I immediately found the nearest person, one of my servants, and began to recount what had happened. Except, by that point, I had forgotten what had happened in my dream. I stumbled over my words as I struggled to recall any details as my servant stood there awkwardly. Why is it often too easy to forget what the master of desires has shown us in our dreams? How irritating. Oh well. Yeah, I'm not going to give myself stress. Got a new martial perk. Alright, let's see. I got strategist. That'll be good to eventually get. For prepared conscription. Alright. Raise his army. Hopefully I don't have anything crazy waiting down there. I doubt it will. What's their troop count? They're fighting it. Okay. Axe hunters, those were skirmishers. Yep. Okay, so we're good. But if they're defending, hopefully no one like that comes in. Sprouting interest. Let me go back down to that. Jovial merchant pressed a sack of seeds in my hand. Plants, she claims, fortify both health and mind. I must admit I have little experience in nurturing plants, but how hard could it be? We'll do that. And I got learning for 10 years. Well. Of course. Get attacked and there's like no way. Come on. Fort level effect. Yeah, never mind. I can't do it. Crap. Alright. Back to base. Let's get Man. Strategies. Impasse. I'm sitting around the map table with Elithron and Ranger Captain Tunider discussing our strategy for the ongoing war. Elithron bangs his fist on the table and loudly proclaims we should charge the enemy directly and crush them with the sheer might of our enemies, while Tunider sits back and patiently advocates for us to secure critical locations and wait for the enemy to come to us instead. It is my right to decide our ultimate course of action. I'm going to go with that because it gives me everything. 87 gold, Jesus. Alright, well. It looks like I can go back down there. Hopefully, the Dunlin people aren't going to... Never mind. Oh my god. In a dusty corner of the library, I find a tome bound in leather and inscribed with strange symbols. Partially hidden behind other books, it is old, but it has clearly seen some recent use. As I leaf through it, I quickly come to realize that it deals with unconventional knowledge. Heresy. Let's speed it up there, Aragorn. Come on now. Bro, come on. Oh, jeez. And of course I don't capture the leader. Would have been too simple for that. Man. Get any prisoners I could ransom maybe? Oh. 10 gold. I'm guessing nothing worthwhile. Oh. Well. That sucks. Still defending against me. Truce. Alright, so now I can get in there, hopefully. Alright, so almost back to capped. Oh! As the sun dips behind the misty mountains, a shadow falls upon the plains of Rudor. From the Ettenmoors emerges a horde of trolls, monstrous figures who lumber forth with a relentless hunger and malice. I stand atop a hill in Nathgard, heart pounding as I witness the onslaught of trolls crashing through forests and defiling the land. They wield crude weapons, laying waste to hill, forest, and stream alike with their march. The trolls raid with savage delight, their cruel laughter echoing through the valleys as they set fields ablaze and strike fear into the defenders. This was not merely a raid, but a declaration of war from the depth of the Edmores, a grim portent of greater perils yet to come in these troubled times. We need to keep an eye on the Edmore. Alright, so we're finally fully recovered again. Alright. Take 3 or whatever the hell this is. Two years? Man. Get out of my way real quick. How much is it for? Probably gonna go with the trebuchets. Big dog. Get those now. Anyways, the passing of Gillerin. On one of his trips in the north, Aragorn visited with his mother, Gillerin, in autumn. After spending a few days together, he prepared to leave out for his next journey. When his mother came to speak with him, "This is our last parting, Esto, my son. I am aged by care even as one of lesser men, and now that it draws near, I cannot face the darkness of our time that gathers upon Middle-earth. I shall leave it soon." Aragorn tried to comfort her, saying, "Yet there may be light beyond the darkness, and if so, I'd have you see it and be glad." But she answered only with this Iland. "Onin, Iestel, Edain, U, Chebin, Estal, Anem." I probably butchered that. But anyways, "I gave hope to the Dunedain. I have kept no hope for myself." Heavy in his heart, Aragorn went away to his task and toil. Gillerin died before the next spring. "Mother, I miss you dearly, but I hope you are at peace with father now." Oh, that better not be some more bullshit. Alright, pause real quick and see if I can get the siege. Man, I can't catch a break. Cannot catch a break. Alright. Let's head back. Okay. Far from home. A stranger brought before me. She has been waiting outside the castle gates for weeks, my liege, in my garden for me. The woman bows deeply. My name is Baragath, or my lord. I have traveled far and wide and seen many things, but my husband and I are weary of the road. If you allow us to stay, I will happily share my knowledge of the world with you and your loyal servant. As long as you embrace our religion, sure. For that last seat. My goal is still the same. Nothing world serving, especially in times of war. The Dundane claim on the lordship of Chel Shari has been no different, as this conflict is no longer against... Oh, King Pay Wolfguard, Jesus. No, he's way too powerful for me. Huh. We'll see how well he does against them. On to, some other fish, I guess. I don't know. Expand. We can get rid of the Edmore up here, I think, too. Here are those pesky trolls. That'll be good to have that. Nightly practice. The clang of mail and the clashing of swords rings in my ears. As my knights practice their arms, I study them intently, trying to ascertain each one's particular strengths and weaknesses. There can be little rest for them, for as soon as the bell is rung to signal the end of the mock melee, the stable doors are open. It is time to bring on the mounts. Today, we are field riding. Yeah, let's do that one. Ranger Captain Valakar glances at the mud fields at the bottom of the hill. Those could serve as the outline of an enemy army, he says. Inform my knights as I inspect their battle lines, preparing them for the strategy. Let's do the marshal. The storm of hooves around me, the shouts of mounted warriors, their unyielding momentum, riding at their head. It feels as if I am at the head of a force of nature. This, however, is a force I direct, that responds to my every little order, that I command as if it was an extension of myself. Charging into the flanks of an imaginary army, my knights never straying from my plan. I know that this is how I bring utter devastation to my enemy. This is how a rush of victory feels. All right, see it done. At least we can beat up some simple mountain folk, hopefully. Unfortunately, wasn't successful in getting the Dunelanders, but well, at least they're doing good. Hopefully, it stays that way. What can I get? Organized march or strict organization? Sorry. Man. The rangers are not that great. Or Northern Dunedain. In the dusty corner of the library, I find a tome bound. Ah, we already did this. Let's see if I can get this down. There we go. Buy. Band. Prisoners. No gold. Get out of here. Farewell. Just I don't know what to give this to. Well, hold on a second now. Probably, I'll just give it to you because you can probably turn that Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I'll just give it to you since you have good stewardship. Hopefully you can do something about that. Alright, so and how much is it gonna cost? 100. Yikes. Ooh, Goblin Town's getting pretty big. Ooh. Alright. Oh, so that's how they're able to get around that. See, normally Saruman gets the... Where is he at? Let's see if I can find him. Claimants... Yeah, it's usually him that... Oh, well, he still has something, but he usually has all this land, and then it just gobbles it all up, so... It'll be interesting to see how this plays out now. Is he still fighting? Nope. Still pretty powerful. I definitely will not be able to take him on. Let's speed this up. We're gonna get that 100 gold. All right, colonize, and let's speed that up. Devotion. The Fearless. Oh, perfect timing to get that nickname. Foul sounds on the wind. As I walked along corridor of my home in the late evening, my vision faded and my mind became filled with foul sounds drifting in the wind. I could scarcely make anything out of it. What an awful racket it was, as if an entire army were clanging its swords directly in my ear, combined with the shrill wail and endless beating of drums rather than my skull make it stop. Well, better than being insane. Alright, so where's that at? So, speed that real quick to get rid of these guys. Or the trolls, I should say. Oop, snow. Let's see what else we can get. I should pause that real quick. Nope. No, we already have them. Pikemen, bowmen, crossbowmen, Dunay Rangers. Those are pretty good. Light horses. I'll probably save up for the Outriders. Actually, wait, but then Saruman has beasts, so what is this? Skirmish. Yep, alright, so we can, yeah, we'll just get the Outriders then. I'm just going to ban this land after this is done, because once you get rid of this, they, the troll and orc attacks stop. At least, I know, pretty sure the troll attacks do at least. Yep, in the northern reaches lies the desolate expanse known as the Edmores. This eerie and mist-shrouded landscape comprises marshy lowlands hemmed by rolling hills, perpetually draped in a pale fog. The Edmores, with their treacherous terrain and lurking perils, serve as a breeding ground for the marauding trolls that pose a constant threat in their surrounding lands, a source of dread and peril recounted tales throughout Middle-earth. In a mysterious turn of events, the trolls from the Edmores vanish, leaving locals bewildered but believe they no longer pose any threat to the surrounding region. With the trolls gone, peace settles over the nearby lands and life resumes into normal rhythm, albeit tinged with a lingering sense of curiosity and caution. The evil from the mountains has subdued for now. So I'm just going to ban that now, so I have to... Oops. Add more stuff anymore. Huh. I wonder if I could at least get them. Oh, he's possessed too. Yeah. Raiding. Just wait till I become king. Cause then I can take on Isengard. Actually, how many more years is that? Hopefully soon. Oops. Get rid of that. I think we get those though. Doing any outriders? Just skirmishers. Okay, yeah. Desert hills and hills, desert mountains, dryland, farmlands, plains. Yeah, we'll get them. Absolute control. Challenge. I'm sparring with one of my soldiers. Where the hell is this? How did I get that armor? Huh. Interesting. That's more southern armor. I'm sparring with one of my soldiers, sweat beading on my forehead when I experience the uncanny sensation of being watched. Looking over my shoulder, I spot my vassal ranger captain, Valakar, who waves at me. I walk over to greet him. We talk about our weapon practice for a while, trading tricks and advice. Just as I'm about to leave for another round, Ranger Captain Valarak's face lights up and he suggests we practice together. Challenge accepted. There we go. See, now that's the Northern Dunedain attire. The sound of swords clashing against a sword echoes between the courtyard walls. All eyes are on us. Everyone wants to see their chieftain fighting his vassal. I must be tired from my previous practice because I move sluggishly, unable to keep up with my opponent. When I lunge, he is already gone, and my parries come at a very last moment. It is not long before I find myself on the ground before him. Man, I had like a 90% chance, I don't remember. Only cowards surrender. There we go. Judging by the exclamation from the crowd, they can hardly believe their eyes as I roll away from Valakar's sword and disarm him in one swift movement. I know it was a dangerous move, but sometimes you have to take great risks to achieve glorious victory. My triumph will not soon be forgotten. That's right. Just quit everything and become an adventurer. I can't remember. Was it 318 or something? They lost all that land, so it should be soon. Speed up a little bit. Oh, oops. Oh. I got those items. Where are they going? Okay, as long as that's not anywhere near me. Greetings, my beloved liege. I would write to inform you of a most appalling discovery. I made it about Ranger Captain Meriton. This man is engaging in unsavory and dishonorable activities behind your back. I certainly hope that bringing this sense of information to your attention will prove my unwavering loyalty. I will not forget your gestures. You better forget about this, man. You definitely aren't getting a weak hook on me. Thanks, Snitch. Hook expired. Oh, that's not it. The centuries-long reign of the Ambalukalar, whatever, over the Bay of Tulwag has been ended. The determined and bellicose Tolwangi rebels have prevailed over the Black Numerans forces on the Fawn and Karla, destroying much of their forces. Vast swaths of the Bay of Tolwag have been freed from Stormhost rule, and for the first time in years, uncounted the natives of the region are free from foreign lordship. This victory has further shifted the balance of power in the region away from Sauron's influence, undoing much of his work in pacifying the region. The sun rises on a new Tolwang. Fire, freedom, and love shall never be extinguished. That's kind of hippie of you, Aragorn, but alright. So I know if that just happened... In a tournament shocking many in Ray, the long-dominated followers of the Cat Paluzza have been able to reestablish their rule over their ancient realm after centuries of Odrat Vatra domination. The bloody and devastating purges orchestrated by the usurper Mardat in his attempt to bring the cult of Khazramaz to that realm at all costs only inflamed the long dormant fires of rebellion within the people of Rey. In the end, the squabbling followers of Khazramaz and the old Vatran order only destroyed each other, leaving the door open for Krayli Desmar to claim power for the Kat Palose. To many in Rey and even across wider Harad, this is an occasion for great celebration, but the ravages of Moderat's purge will take years to be repaired. The sun has at last set on the tyrants of Rey. Well, that's cool. Ah, finally. For many generations, the throne of Gondor has sat absent since King Eärnur disappeared into Minas Ithil in 2050 TA, while the stewards have served nobly in their absence. The lack of a king has been a gaping wound in the kingdom that no amount of faithful service might heal. The people lose faith, and the shadow in the east grows bold, testing the borders of Gondor. Many years ago, I served the noble's steward, Estalon, under the name Thorongil. I led an assault on the havens of Umbar, burning the Corsair fleets, but now Gondor is assaulted on all sides, not only from sea, and its valor buckles under the strain. While once the southern kingdom rejected the claim of Arvidu, much now has changed since then. Perhaps the time has come for the heirs of Isildur to unveil ourselves once more and stake our claim to rule and guide Gondor. The time has come to unveil ourselves. Let's get back to focusing. There we go. The return of the king. To the great acclaim of the people, the king has ridden into Minas Tirith. Let me put that down. The people and the lords rejoice for this unlooked-for blessing, and already a fervent feeling of tide turning has gripped the city. Minstrels fiercely compose new pieces. Lore masters speak of the king's ancient lineage and his proud bearings, and the people have doubled their efforts to make the city as beautiful as it ever was. Those who remember Thorongil of the North whisper the king and the great hero are one and the same. At long last, the seat of the kings is no longer empty, and Gondor begins to rouse itself from its long lethargic rest. A new age is dawning. It is heard on the wind and felt in the earth. The days of the king have come at last, and may they be blessed. I will protect my king. The return of the king. In a grand ceremony in the Gondorian capital, Aragorn, heir of Isildur and chieftain of the Dunedain of Arnor, has been proclaimed King of Gondor, High King of the Dunedain in exile, Lord of the West. He has proven his identity beyond all doubt, bearing Anduril Nesaril's reforged, and his claim has been accepted by the lords and people of Gondor. In his youth, he was Thorongil, the Eagle of the Star, and in Gondor and Rohan alike, the name served with valor and distinction. The people of Gondor have not forgotten their great captain, now returned at an hour unexpected, and their joy is bright as the sun in summer. It is a happening unlooked for by the people of the south, the line of Isildur long ago deemed dead and gone. Yet already a changing in the winds can be felt, a people's will ringing upon the waves, and silver trumpets proclaiming the defiance. Gondor, long lethargic, stirs from its stupor and seems to be regaining its long fading strength. Gondor's allies rejoice, while those that are set against the Dunedain have been seized with a great terror and despair, foreseeing the return of the king as their doom. Renewed shall be the blade that was broken, and the crownless shall be king. Regalia of lost armor. Messengers arrive at my court. I immediately recognize my foster brother Eladon and Elrohir, and welcome them warmly. Eladon smiles. Congratulations, Aragorn, on restoring your kingdom. My heart is glad, and I come bearing gifts from our father, the regalia of Arnor, which has been kept safe in Imladris ever since the fall of Arvidu. May they serve you better than their last owner. My father would grant another boon upon you if you will lend him the shards of Elendil the Tall. He will see that is reforged. Many thanks, and please take hell yeah, get a nice sword out of it. Let's pause real quick before we also got that. Let's do, because I want to get another defensive alliance possibly. Foreign affairs. All right, so we got a lot of items. Put that. Monthly renown. Short range duration. Stewardship per level of fame. To the crown. A heavy mace wielded by Anorian, the King of Gondor. It is inlaid with silvered steel and has sharp edges all around the mace's head. The hilt is perfectly balanced for use in battle. This mace is especially effective at crushing armor and shield. After the fall of Anorion and the siege of Barad-dûr, his mace became an heirloom of the South Kingdom, traditionally being wielded by the heir apparent to the throne of Gondor. When the line of kings ended, the mace of Anorion was entrusted to the Sea Lords of Peligre and has been kept as a regalia in their grand hall. Huh. That is new, because I don't ever remember that. Okay. So we got all that. Let's see, where are you? Oh, Sauron. I would like Isengard, please. Alright, where am I gonna spawn at? We'll spawn there. Just so there's no possible chance that he, The glory of Gondor restored. The king has at last returned to Gondor, and her people now rejoice. But a fell wind is upon the east, and the malice that was slowly building has now turned to fury, hate at the return of his oldest foe. Time shall tell if the king's return signals a new beginning or an end, to whatever end. That's a nice amount of money. The storm passes. The army of the southern dragon has been defeated by the armies of Belikar. The storm host, pressured from within by an open revolt from the natives of the Bay of Tolong, numerous failed assaults on Belikar shores, has been shattered. The southern storm has come and passed for a second time. The Bay of Tolong has been set free from the yoke of their Ambalakari overlords, whilst the Arkor of Ambalkumagan once again claims sole dominion over the Numenor colony. Only time will tell what awaits this land has been marred by shadow. A dim light returns to a once blighted land. Parents' grief. One of my servants recently experienced a personal tragedy as their beloved child died from illness. The servant, of course, now in mourning, a look of uttermost grief on their often tear-stained face. All the other servants and even a few members of my court are doing their best to comfort this servant mine, so perhaps I should offer at least a few kind words. I'm sincerely sorry for your loss and pain you are going through. Your child is now in Valinor with Manwë. Why do I need to say anything? Peasants die all the time. I'll give my servant a couple of weeks off to recover. Best option and something that Aragorn would do, in my opinion. Alright. Enough of the nonsense. Let's go. And we'll take that out first. What the hell? Rating. Oh, gee. It's not part of Gondor? Ah, we'll worry about that later. Elessir or Aragorn. In the days of old, it was the way of the Numenorean kings to take their names in Kenya. I think that's how you pronounce it. Though this practice is long since past, I could revive it. The people have taken to calling me the Elfstone. Perhaps that would be a fitting name for a king. There are a scant few that are pushing me towards taking up a name in Anduin. I think in the book is Ter Elessar. Go with that. A new house for a new age. The line of Isildur and of Elendil, his father, at last sits once more in Minas Tirith. But a new age is dawning on us, a new Gondor. Shall I add another branch to the great tree of Elros, being a new royal house? The house of Cyril, the house of Telcorn, it shall be. I can't remember if that's how it's supposed to be, or it's supposed to be the Isildur. But we'll just go with that one, because I don't know. So, oh, okay, there we go. A dream from long ago. I first met Arwen when I was 20 in the gardens of Rivendell, and then I named her Luthien, for she was surely the most beautiful of all the living. On Seren, Armoth, and Lorien did we swear to be bound, even under the shadows of the east and the twilight of the west. Through many trials, now have I come, and the time has come to fulfill our promise to each other. So we can marry Arwen. And no. A maiden of no more high kindred occupies my dream. I don't know that. Who is that? Yeah, we're obviously going to stick to the story. You must not be a commander. Well, the blade reforged. At last, Eladon returns holding a sword in a bejeweled scabbard. As I draw it, it shines like a flame in the light of the setting sun. I rename you Andoril, Flame of the West. I foresee that we will see many battles together. I profusely thank him and invite him to the royal table. The blade is broken no longer. Jeez. No, just got one weapon now. Alright, where are you at? Alright, get back here. Get that real quick. No. Artifact gained. We gain. Oh, oops. That was from the battle. Speed this up real quick. Stop that. Yeah, where you guys run off to? Come back here. Alright. Sauron is out of the picture. Fine, I don't have to worry about him anymore. The reclamation of Angernost. With the fall of Isengard, the Tower of Orthanc, and the fortress of Angermost have finally been brought back into the lands of the rightful ruler, the Lords of Gondor. This fortification was built by our forefathers to ward against any attack across the Gap of Rohan. We shall reinstate this custom once more. A governor shall be named, and the banner of the White Tree will from now on fly from the top of the Orthanc until all of Gondor is safe. Let Angermost once again watch our western borders. There's a decision. What's the decision? Hold on. Invite elves. Search. The Tower of Orthanc has for centuries served as Saruman's dwelling, resulting in many things both strange and wondrous, likely being hoarded. Oop. Homage to the king. Yeah, well, I don't know what you're saying, but just pay homage, whatever. Like being hoarded within, we should assemble a search party to see what he might have hidden within those bleak ancient halls. Isengard has been without a key bearer for far too long. After Saruman established himself as Isengard's keeper, Dunain lost swiftly all insight into the happenings of the Great Tower. Now, as Saruman's treachery revealed and the tower reclaimed, an accounting is in order of what he may have hidden within. The first major discovery is an immense store of food of incomparable quality, befitting a king's table: salted pork, fine wines, fowl of every sort of game, potatoes, a fine stock, and many other fine delicacies. Most surprising, however, is the discovering of several barrels filled absolutely to the brim with long-bottomed leaf. This leaf is the highest quality in the known world, grown in the South Farthing of the Shire. It is costly to import from out of the Shire, as Bree is usually the only place such deals can be made. It is well known the White Wizard has scornfully referred to Gandalf the Grey's habits of smoking pipe weed, but it seems behind closed doors he had indulged himself too. Most curious, what could possibly be worth all the secrecy? Long bottom leaf, a prize fit for a king. Bring the pipes. Let's see what else they got. Upon opening the great steel case, only two items are held within. Firstly, a chain with a small golden box attached, designed to be worn around the neck. The box is a fine velvet setting within, designed to hold a ring. and it is then that the realization dawns upon the expedition, for this most assuredly be the necklace with which Isildur held the ruling ring after he cut it from the hand of Sauron himself. Next, however, is the greater prize. A golden cylinder without marking or ornamentation rests upon a fine silver pillow. Once it is opened, an audible gasp rises. Attached to the chain of mithril and glowing with an ancient light, a great jewel inlaid in gold and mithril is contained within. I just read that twice. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, it's just repeating. This is the Elendilmar, the star of Elendil, star of the Northern Kingdom, born out of Numenor ere it fell, and an heirloom of the Northern Kingdom. It was lost with Isildur, and since then the kings of Arnor wore the lesser Endilumar, a replica made in its image by the elves of Imlodis. With these artifacts, the fate of Isildur is now made clear. It appears his corpse was uncovered by Saruman in many years of searching for the One, and he stripped it of all its treasures. He then burned the body and ordered to remove all traces of Isildur's whereabouts, show all who were attempting to cover the One Ring. So now the tale of Isildur can be written in full, both his valor and his fallings. Though he fell and his last great choice came to ruin, we must not follow that to diminish his many noble acts, for there is more to his story than its ending. Rest in peace, son of Numenor. Oh, you gained. So that's cool. Is this the real one? The original star. Okay. So monthly stewardship. Sure. Oh, okay, I'm just looking at this. I'm like, it's almost the same. We'll go with that, I guess. All right. Found a holy order. Invite the elves. What do I get for that? Wizard's Veil. Okay. Do I get anything else? That's a lot of gold, though. Ooh. I don't have duchy for that. Let's see if we can get rid of those. Healthy rivalry between meddlesome fighters is to be expected, but the growing discord between Adendare and Esteldir is souring the mood of the court. Adendare is widely regarded to be more skilled, but Esteldir clearly takes issue with the assertion. In the middle of an audience, the latter bursts into my throne room and, clutching his sword hilt, cries, "Adendare, only one of us can claim to be the king's most skilled knight. Meet me outside and I will settle the question." Adendare replies brutally, "I would cut you to pieces where you stand if it not for the presence of my king, you foolhardy boar. Apologize, I may spare your life. I better act quickly if this escalation is to be halted." Take their swords, give them training blades. Well, get 2 bodyguards out of it. Get them to shut up. Let's see what we got for stuff. Throne of Gondor. Yeah. Hang those up. Man. They really do a good job with this mod. No, I already said it, but dang. Alright. What else do we got? Got a wedding to do. Grand wedding. Oh, wait, actually, before I do that, I just make sure okay, good. Don't be traveling all the way from Northern Dunedain territory. Yeah, we'll do it at Minas Tirith. There's no cost. We're gonna ball out. Where you at? Oh, shoot. Hopefully nothing bad happens to her. That is up there, girl. Oh well. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, well, what happened to history? Where did he died from his wounds? Fell from the window of his bedchamber to his death. That's how you went out, huh? And of course, you didn't have any kids either. What's this? Okay. Loyalty or fear. As their king, my vassals owe me their allegiance. My word is law. But how much is obedience without devotion? In time of crisis, a slow response or a half-hearted effort can lead to disaster. Can I afford such things? I have more important matters to press, or more important men to press. Tributary invalid. Don't care. Ah, come on, player. Where you going? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I will, just take your lamb. So you don't bother him anymore. Oh, oh, oh! Oof. That was close. Nice try, though. Alright. Now, that's done with. Yeah, I'll just give it to no. All right, now let's get married. Ministerial, ball out. Guess it's free. Why not? Let's hurry this up before Sauron decides to attack us. Get that real quick. Definitely gonna need that. Hopefully, we can get the some elves or dwarves to help us. It always feels amazing when you have been planning for something for so long and spent so much money on it. That was free, so not really. And then it's finally there. Everything is ready, the decorations are in place, the guests are mingling, and servants scurry around with loaded dishes. I am pacing around in excitement and nervousness when my future spouse, Arwen, appears, radiant in her finest attire. I can't wait. Lady Gladriel rode in with Arwen for the wedding celebration in Minas Tirith. When her turn comes to congratulate us, she gives me the elf stone, the green LOTR of prophecy. With it, I will heal my suffering people. This is a royal gift. Ooh, inventory artifact. That's pretty nice. As if organizing a wedding worthy of my family's stature weren't stressful enough, I also have to deal with Arwen's relatives. Her father, Elrond, arrived bright and early today and has been following me around ever since, complaining about this or that nonstop. As I feel a splitting headache growing behind my eyes, he continues blabbering undeterred. What kind of color are those flowers? They will clash horribly with Arwen's complexion. And why would you choose such a tasteless arrangement for tables? And don't get me started on these gaudy fabrics. We'll go with this. Is going to be just fine. Relax. I pity you, acquaintance. Corsair Lord Sarkasar. We have to deal with him earlier. Tells me what married life is like. A slow, painful march towards the moment when you find out which of you will lose, or which of you will toss to the other side. Like me and Sarwin, he grumbles. Is that what my marriage will be like? Arwen is perfect. Don't worry about me. I'll have my hobbies. Please, I know all marriage will it be that bad. Let's go with the highest percentage. To rule the world. It is increasingly clear from the lowest peasant to the most noble of my vassals. They are all whispering my name, whispering of my might, whispering of war. Their support for my cause, for my people, see me as a ruler worthy of the world. The strength of the King of Gondor is mine to wield, and wield it I shall. To strike outwards is what I expect, or what is expected of me. To claim by might what should belong to me. I am destined to rule, to subjugate those around me, and make them part of my kingdom. With my people behind me, I cannot fail. Let the conquest begin. Woo! I get Conqueror? No way. Hold on a second. I don't. Oh, yeah. This will make the battle way more manageable. Everyone excited and amazed by the magnificence of the wedding venue. Everyone but Lord Belagorn. He does look like he has a stick up his ass, so that's not surprising. Since his arrival, Belagorn has been prowling, searching for any pretext to complain. Are you wearing makeup? Those colorful veils are sinful. What's with all the unchaste mingling? Is this all a show of luxury and lust? Yes, and I'm going to enjoy it too. I'm ashamed of myself. Guards coming as killjoy. I'll pretend I didn't hear anything. Nah, it's my wedding, so I'm gonna be a bit of not a dick, but I'm just letting him know I don't give a damn. When the ceremony finally reaches its climax and both myself and my spouse are asked for our formal consent, I'm barely paying attention, buzzing as I am with excitement for the imminent celebration. Piles of delicious food, limitless drinks, and many happy faces to share them all with. I can't imagine anything better, but for the time being, let's get the formalities over with. Do I want to spend the rest of my life with Arwen? Yes, you do. As the ceremony concludes and we all move to the banquet venue, I secretly smile to myself, picturing the joys to come from my married life with Arwen. Not everyone can be so lucky to marry such a likable person. I wish everyone to share in my happiness, and let's all tuck in, enjoy. The halls are awash with with a riotous parade of acting tropes, dancing musicians, and exotic charlatans. Delighting guests amassed near my seat, both Taskarl, Soldan, and Erer Surdin share their opinions on display. Now this is how I like it, cackles Soldan. Is that the guy that... I don't know what that is, actually. A grand nay, magnificent affair. It's good, but it's all rather showy. Surdin sniffs. I could do with a bit more room to talk. Let's see. Soldan, so glad you're enjoying it. Go closer. I had envisioned differently when I hired them, Surdin. I'm focused on the actual entertainment, so let's do that. I should be spending time with my new wife, Arwen, and her family, but I just can't tear myself away from my friend Elor here, and I can see Galadriel starting to glare at me, but every time I try to excuse myself, Elor has me howling with laughter all over again. What a joy to have Elor here with me. Galadriel, come join us. What's her... She likes me a lot. What's fighter gonna give me? Diplomacy would be nice. You must excuse my friend. Yeah, I'm gonna take the extra trait. Is there anything more jovial than a good feast? Guests throng to and fro, eating and chatting while flickering torchlight plays off every well-lit, bouncing light, bouncing like laughter around the hall. What the hell is up with him? Oh, that sucks. I've always found the natural order of a banquet delightful to behold. Tables neatly laid out, social rings quietly enforced, everyone happy and laughing and in their proper place, exactly where they should be. Sometimes it's nice to simply sit back and enjoy the little things in life. This is where I want to be. Good folks. I mean, I write it down with stress, so chance to be seen with the great good. I mean, everyone really likes me. What is this? Would be every guest with at least one trait. So I really, yeah, I'll just take the prestige. What kind of food is this? So rich and flavorful. Never before have I seen or tasted such an incredible exotic treat. Oh, and these wonderfully lavish sweets. This feast has some incredible dishes I've never tasted before, and I fear I never will again. I must ask for this source. Delightful. Sight, taste, touch, smell, even sound. No human sense is left untouched by the scale of grandeur of the evening's food, a fabulous melee of art and fare. Near my seat, both Hero Galadriel and Círdan share their opinions about the spread. Moans Galadriel. Now this is how you throw a feast. My, it certainly is bustling. I said busting. Círdan complains, I barely get a chance to taste each dish. A slower pace wouldn't go amiss. I picked the main dishes, certainly. Yes, Círdan, things aren't quite how I imagine it. Not along without paying attention. Every feast, there's always one. Every single feast. One long-winded, ill-born pissant cornering people who just will not be silent. This time it's and he's completely woefully self-absorbed. Our conversation is rife with hypocrisy, poorly thought-out ideas, and just plain idiocy. Yet the man is entirely convinced that he's some kind of fascinating social genius. I am going to scream. Gently exit conversation. Shut up. My intrigue sucks, so that's not going to happen. Grin and bear through it. Let's try and get that diplomacy perk. Fine sculptures, exotic tapestries, strong foreign flower arrangements, and more festoon the banquet hall. Verbal feast for the eyes. Near my seat, both Galadriel and Círdan share their opinions on the decorations, so I can already imagine what he's going to say. Now this is what I was expecting, booms Galadriel. A venue fit for a truly grand wedding. Frankly, I find it all a little exhausting. Of course you do, moans Círdan. I don't even know what's a seat and what's a decorative sculpture. You're kind of pissing me off, bro. I'm just not going to get involved again. The feast has started winding down with everyone sated and tired, but the day is still not over for our enemy. A procession of guests lead us to our bedchambers for the legitimacy of our wedding pins on it being consummated. It's time to lay it down. Whoa! The fire in the grate has started to wither, and I stare at its flames in silence. The light, its warmth. High Queen Arwen is searching for something in her wooden chest, and I take my eyes off the flames to look at her. Elsar, she says, offering me a small package wrapped in silk. I've saved this since I heard of our betrothal, and I now offer to you as a small token. Your gift are the greatest gifts, or whatever. There we go, put some clothes back on. When finally the last guest leaves, I look around at the dessert venue, the food leftovers, the spilled spice wines on the floor, the echoes of the people's laughter still lingering in the air, and feel satisfied. What an amazing day. I did a very fine job organizing it. Thank you all for coming. Finished grand wedding. Whew. All right. We get that defensive negotiation. And let's see what we got. We got the LSR. Marriage prayer brooch. I guess she gave that to me. And while we're at it, before we call it a day, can I get a defensive? Oh, an alliance. Oh wait, that's yours. Who is your ally? Oh, no. Who's... Man, you got the good stuff. Well, I was kind of hoping she would be more stacked than that. It's kind of disappointing. We'll worry about that next episode. Anyways, that's it for now. Bye.